Ricky Gervais is back with his first stand-up special in 7 years, and this time he's taken on all of humanity. Please welcome back the fabulous and quite funny Ricky Gervais. So, before we get into what the special is about, the question everybody wanted me to ask you is, are you excited about the royal wedding?
You can't even say it with a straight face. Am I excited about the royal family?
Yeah.
No.
The royal wedding.
No. I'm not excited about it. Listen, I've got nothing against the royal family, but I don't like any of that sort of frivolous nonsense gossip. I actually know William and Harry. They've come to about 2 or 3 of my gigs, you know. I mean, it's on every paper all the time. Every my news show, it's like, oh no, I'm not interested at all.
I wonder,
Thanks for asking.
Just on the same subject, though, when I was in England trying to do stand-up there, you can't say anything about the Queen. They have a fit, and they won't laugh. Is that true when you do it?
No, not anymore.
Not my
well,
crowd.
it was then.
No, I mean, I think that I think that BBC are still a bit stuffy because they get complaints, and they're a sort of government body, so they fear complaints, but live, no, anything. It's just no.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
And so,
thank you.
So this is
Well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. You know, it's. Offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? So you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well,
Ricky Gervais is back with his first stand-up special in 7 years, and this time, he's taking on all of humanity. Please welcome back the fabulous and funny Ricky Gervais. Applause. Ricky on the royal family. Before we dive into the special, the question everyone's been asking is,
if you're saying anything, you should polarize. You should polarize because everyone's different. So,
but this year you didn't host, and do you miss the fact that this was a Weinstein year?
Oh, I was salivating. Honestly, I got an adrenaline rush thinking of what I could say and whether I'd have to go to jail. And I like that opportunity because I do like that. When there's a tension, when there's an elephant in the room. Although he wasn't there this year. I do like that because I do like confronting that because I think it takes the audience to a place it hasn't been before, and it can be a mutual backslapping. Fest, fine, but don't televise it, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires, and who
don't care about the awards.
Yeah. Excited about the royal wedding?
No.
I've got nothing against the royal family, but I don't really care for all that frivolous nonsense. Ricky even jokes about knowing Princes William and Harry.
So I was doing other things. I did a series, I did Derek, I did a couple of movies, and I pushed it back because I always thought that stand-up was like the second or third thing I did, whereas now I've changed my mind. Now it's my favourite thing. I could give everything else up because it's such a privilege, and freedom of speech is so important these days. And you've got, I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? It's like,
welcome aboard,
what's the worst that can happen?
Welcome aboard.
I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
So I'm offended. I'm going to die. So what? So...
You made enough money at this point.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to give that to animals anyway, just to see the look on my stupid family's face. See it all to animals.
And by the way, if Humanity is on Netflix, you're going to want to see it. So.
And you talk about your family.
I do. This is the most personal. Again, I think for the same reasons. I think that it's nice to look back and it's a celebration. I talk about my mum and dad and who aren't with us anymore, and jokes about the mum and mum's funeral. Because that's what. I think that's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff. So it's a sin. To not to joke about all the bad things, that's a waste. because that's exactly what we should joke about.
I also feel that when you talk about people who have gone to the next world, whatever that is, that you're keeping them alive in a way.
Well, yeah, they exist.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And, you know, I tell it, you know, there was a lot of truth, so I tell the truth, you know. It's not just this idealized view of your...
Public's reverence for the Queen. When I was doing stand-up in England, you couldn't say anything about the Queen without people freaking out. They won't laugh. On Offense in Comedy. Shifting gears, Ricky talks about political correctness and offense. The thing about offense is, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Offense is about...
Right? And they're much older than me. They're like 11, 13 and 14 years older than me. And I remember when I was about 12, I said to my mum, why are my brothers and sisters so much older than me? And she said, you were a mistake.
And there you have it.
I just laughed.
You know, it's true, because sometimes it's also the way you can grieve. Because when my brother passed, I mean, when I started talking about it in my show, because it was like, I couldn't understand how he was more good looking dead than I was alive.
That's great.
You know, I mean, and people were like, really? I was like, yeah, because you gotta keep, you have to keep talking. You know, you have to keep talking to stay present.
Absolutely,
you know?
make them part of the thing, and it is with affection. You know, I just think that it's like my mum would have loved it. You know,
and they're hilarious anyway.
Well, it's funny. Funny is funny. Funny is funny. There's no time and a place for being funny. I know some things are sensitive, and you know, I think you have to respect that. And let's get this: I wouldn't be doing those jokes at someone else's mum's funeral.
I
don't mind, you know, because I know that, you know.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about your partner Jane, because I've met Jane. She's a lovely person.
Yeah.
You've been with her for how many years? 35?
30 years. Yeah.
30
over
years.
30 years. Yeah.
Not married yet, though.
No.
You're never going to get married.
No.
He doesn't like any of that stuff.
There's no point.
Yeah. No, there's no, you know, we don't want our families to meet, and
But you've said that the key to a happy relationship is separate bathrooms, which I totally agree with.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And why is that?
One less argument, isn't it? So no, it's great. It's lovely to have your space, and no, it's brilliant. Yeah.
I know. I think so too. What about separate bedrooms now?
Oh no.
No.
Let's not get crazy, Joy.
Just
No, you're really active on Twitter. You have 13 million followers, and you love to engage with trolls. It's a fun pastime for you.
Yeah.
You post
like, you know, 2 a week each in the family. So now I think that's my luxury.
Now you're gluttonous, laying in the bath.
Honestly, my baths have got bigger and more luxurious. I have 1 or 2 a day, and so I've got the iPhone. So I think, and it's great to look. You're in that position, and those are taken all around the world. There was Oslo, and I do a relevant, bath pic wherever I go.
They're very themed.
Do you think
they're very themed? Yeah.
Do you think that growing up poor like you did, and I grew up in a tenement, Whoopi grew up in a project.
I was just in Iowa, so
she's from Iowa, whatever. Do you think that makes you funnier?
Well, I think so, because that was the thing about growing up. I was born into poverty and like welfare housing, and my dad was a labourer, mum was a housewife, and I was the youngest of 4. But the point was to, pay your way, then have a laugh. Yeah. And that was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. It was everything.
Survival.
It was survival. You laugh at everything. It gets you over it, And if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof.
And also, if you can make your parents laugh. Yeah, exactly. If you can make their day better.
Absolutely. We would tease them and everything, and they loved it. Yeah.
Come back sooner than 7 years, please.
Yeah, really.